Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Academy Broadcast Week 7, Day 2. Whichever stream you're on, whether it's twitch.tv/academy or twitch.tv/FaceItTV, make sure you pull up the other one because I will be hosting Academy. And again, I got Mazel hosting FaceItTV.
It's going to be a good time today. I'm just excited to kick off the final day of week number 7 in the Academy split. I can't believe it. I know I say it like every single day, but it still astounds me every single day. First, I know, right? First thing we got to get into, we got to update the Champions queue because we did not have the updated standings yesterday.
Yes.
So we do have the updated standings today, however, and we'll go ahead and bring those up. As you see, it's still a lot of the same that we had in the one yesterday. Obviously, there's some slight variations.
Yeah, of course, the actual LP that they have is different. 34th place. He is in the top 5, actually ahead of Kaori right now. So it's kind of cool to see those two competing against each other. And then Tomio, Armeo, we had the two of them do a 1v1 last week. And it looks like they're also competing right now for the actual Champs Q standings. Who's going to be that final top 10? It's awesome to keep track of who's performing where. And also, speaking of Kaori making that push for the top 5 on the Champs Q ladder, we also had an opportunity to sit down and chat with him earlier on this week, since we haven't yet had a chance to get him on the broadcast for a live interview. So here's a quick clip of my chat with Kaori.
I think right now Idimet is carry meta, so everybody should aim to carry as a role right now with meta. Like the champions, like Zeria, Felos, Jinx, every of them hyper carry. So I think right now his meta is 4AD carry meta. If all of them not banned. If all of them is banned, you can be supportive, like HG, Varus. I think I can bring the team a bit more aggressive play style. I mean, sometimes team fights, like engaged. I think he's good at it. After like training, from my perspective. He's really good at team fights sometimes. When he's winning the lane, he's a really good player, I think. He just needs to learn how to play from behind. But when he's on head, like he's a really good player, I think. About Tomio is like a carry jungler, I think. He needs to learn how to play for team jungler too, but he's getting really good at it. Like with time, maybe until proving grants, we can get very much better. I think we need to win most of the games, not like this. Because we are losing too much games, which is kind of sad. We need to get better at early game too, so I can show better of myself. Because AD carries on early game can't do much. Expect way management and auto spacing for 2 or 3 out attack, but late game obviously you can team fight, but it doesn't go late game always. So if we get better early game, and if I keep performing better than I do right now, and we start winning, then I can be assist candidate.
Awesome to hear Kaori's thoughts, not only on his own performance and what he needs to do as a player that is eyeing that LCS as his final goal, but also a player with experience who's playing with a lot of rookies. So it's cool to hear him talk about those rookies and kind of what he thinks their strengths are currently.
Yeah, definitely on the edge of needing to whip up the whippersnappers there on the team for sure. But trying to make the push to proving grounds is a fun one, and getting to hear from Kaori is always nice. I gotta say though, this next little bit is gonna be a fun one. We put together a little bit of a debate video for you, so let's go ahead and send it over there and see what we got.
All right, so CLG were dominant in the first round robin, topping the Academy charts. But ever since the second round robin, they're 4-6 in their match record. So I brought two of the big brains of the broadcast on to debate why that is happening. Cubby, you're up first. You know the drill. 30 seconds on the clock. What is happening to CLG?
I think that a lot of the ways CLG found success in the first round robin was playing through Rosethorn, having sound 3-wave plans, and attacking side lanes. In the second round robin, CLG have started to abandon this mentality. We've seen a lot more Hecarim, we've even seen a Nocturne out of Rosethorn, and I think that this lack of early game presence have given them a lack of direction in other stages of the game, and it's made sure that some of the early game picks they're indexing towards are able to snowball the same way they were able to make them snowball in the first round robin, and that has been getting CLG a little bit behind at certain stages of the game, and they've been not having as much success.
Okay, so you're looking at the jungle side of things. Kelsey, you're up next. What do you think is happening with CLG?
If you pay close attention to how CLG have been winning, we've been hyping up a player called Big Dokes, also known as Dokla, and I think a big factor in that has been how they've been using bot lane prio in order to allow the support and jungle to sync up and roam to top lane. That's something that we aren't seeing as effectively in other academy teams, and I think instead right now what CLG are doing is they're trying to index really hard into the bot 2v2, which takes away that unique style, and Dokla hasn't been getting as many leads.
Okay.
Bot 2v2.
So, Kelsey thinks it's a lack of focus on the top side of the map. Cubby, you got 20 seconds on the clock. What is your rebuttal?
I think that the bot lane 2v2 focus, we're still seeing Prismal play supportive characters like Varus. And yes,
Varus is
Breezy,
supportive?
I mean, you can leave him on his own if it's the Thality Varus, right? We just abandon weak side.
Varus just kills
I'm not going to fall for
Kelsey,
this. You're taking my time.
Kelsey,
Taking my
you'll
time.
get your
Yeah. Taking my time. I'm not falling for this
Cubby,
again.
you're at time, but you got 5 more real quick.
Okay. Rose Thorn attack sides. He's not doing that at the moment with full clears. That's it. I'm sticking to my guns.
Okay. Kelsey, rebuttal, 20 seconds.
I think that if Rosethorn went to attack sidelines, even with the backdrop of him going for three-wave plans and going for these dives, I think teams have prepared better for them, right? And there's so many wave clear champs in both mid and bot, it just doesn't really happen, and it doesn't work effectively. Top? Other teams have planned for it.
Okay, so is it the other teams leveling up? Is it CLG doing different strategies and not finding as much success? Let us know who you think won the debate. Of course,
is to keep my job.
This is if we fire Cubby or not, okay? So please, he needs this. But everybody, of course, let us know what you think in Twitch chat. What is happening with CLG and why are they on a loss streak? We're curious your thoughts.
So a little bit of fun there,
yeah,
gotta say.
It's with not with a heavy heart that I have to say we did let Cubby go. Unfortunately, after that one, you can't be losing debates to our producer.
There's
Kelsey
gonna be
Moser.
a new guy. He like dresses up as a bear
Mark
sometimes.
Z. I think Mark Z was gonna come back on, right? I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, we went completely two different directions with that one.
did.
But that's the synergy that we have, Kangas, as hosts here on the pre-show. It's a wonderful time. But
That's the fun that we were having off screen. But let's take a look at what happened on screen yesterday in all of the games, because of course we had already 5 best of 2s played out, and the big surprise for me, Mazel, I didn't actually get to host this one. This was on your stream. CLG dropping 0-2 to Dignitas. I thought for sure this was the 1-1.
It was very one-sided. I will say Dignitas came out swinging yesterday, and I'm very excited. The fact that they were able to make that kind of performance as the push to the late season goes, it's so exciting. You, on the other hand, you didn't have a full day of 2-0s. You had a couple 1-1 series. That last one, Golden Guardians and Cloud9.
That was nuts. Literally a quadra kill for Stixay, level 1.
Yep.
There was both teams trying to invade each other, and then they backed off, and we thought it was over, but they just kept slamming into each other. So yeah, we had a lot of fun yesterday. But I think we got some more fun ahead of us, right, Mazel?
I think so. There's a reason why we're here, Kangas, I would say, because we have another day of games. And over on your stream, Kangas, which will be on twitch.tv/academy, we'll have 3 back-to-back best of 2s. Starting off with Golden Guardians Academy taking on TSM Academy. 100 Thieves Academy taking on CLG Academy.
That's the big one.
That is a big one. And FlyQuest Academy going up against Dignitas Academy.
100 Thieves versus CLG is going to be really pivotal for CLG to turn around their misfortune. That's why we had that whole debate segment in this pre-show. It's like, what is going on with CLG? First round robin, they were stopping. Second round robin, 4-6. They want to turn that around and at least make it even at 6-6. But 100 Thieves also a team that has been showing some signs of life. Let's take a look at twitch.tv/FaceItTV and see what you got on your stream, Mazel, because I'm noticing that there's a lot of big names that weren't on my stream. Two of them right there.
Only 2 of them.
I'm giving the TL Cloud9 right now, based on reason. Although Immortals did have a good day yesterday.
I was going to say, yesterday Immortals coming out with a 2-0. I mean, that's some confidence gaming right there. Talking to Chad afterwards, it was amazing. We get to see those two series. I did get to go over them because I was too caught up in your shenanigans.
Chad, please don't be in my DMs flaming me for flaming you. I apologize.
Please
Immortals
be
are
in his
exciting
DMs.
to watch
Honestly,
against TL as well.
everybody has the right to do that at this point. But
well, hey, no, don't get in my DMs. Don't get in my DMs. But you know whose DMs you should get into? Path to LCS on Twitter. Let them know how much you're enjoying Academy, how much you're enjoying the amateur scene, and also just follow them so you can keep up to date on all those things like standings and schedule. Right, Mazel?
Maybe don't blow up their DMs, but
I don't know if the DMs are even open.
The content and stuff, leave comments that say you like it. That's amazing too. But seriously, if you want any action that has to do with Proving Grounds, lead up, Academy, amateur, go follow that Twitter. It is where all the information is at, and our content.
Exactly. Yeah. If you miss any of our content on the live show, don't worry. Usually it gets posted on there as well, as long as it isn't too cringe. So usually half of my stuff gets
I think
cut.
that's the stuff that gets posted the most.
Probably, yeah. But Mazel, I think that's it. I think we're caught up right now, right? We're ready for the stream split. Everyone got both streams up?
I mean,
right?
I think we got to go ahead and get on our way. All right. So, audience, we will see you there. We're going to go ahead and get ready to go. We're going to set up. We're going to go to the stream.
We're going to see you at the stream.
You better be at both streams. I don't know how you're going to do it. Make
there.
2 copies of you. Be there. All right.
All right. Stream split now. Stream split now. See you there. Hello, everybody, and welcome back as we're preparing for match 1 of the day here on twitch.tv/academy. That's the channel that we're on currently, but you should also pull up twitch.tv/faceittv if you haven't already. Guys, what is this? Y'all are wearing ties? It didn't tell me. I'm way too casual right now.
There we go. Well, Josh was frozen on my screen for a bit, so I wanted to make sure that we were in sync, and then we happened to be in sync, and just not with you.
In sync.
We had a whole conversation about
it. Did they? I don't remember that ever being an
They probably
no,
did.
but
There's
they
probably
were
at least one.
and had better voices than wow.
Well, I mean, they did definitely have hair, so that's one thing I'm missing on them. Golden Guardians Academy versus TSM Academy is the first match on the docket today. Again, the narrative by Golden Guardians currently in first place, guys. They own it right now as the #1 team in the league, and they have definitely had to work for it. TSM currently at the bottom of the standings in 10th place. Looking kind of rough, Joshi.
Yeah, they're going to have to make a miracle run if they want to try and make their way to Proving Grounds right off the bat, right? They are currently 6 games behind 6th place with only 8 more to play. And let's be honest, Kangas, this is a tough first opponent for a miracle run.
Exactly. So let's talk about them. Golden Guardians Academy, if we look at their roster lane by lane, they are packing a lot of firepower, especially when you're looking towards the bottom side of the map. Rafa, the big narrative behind this team is they got the coach buff because Stixay has been played for them. Was supposed to be the coach, but of course is their starting AD carry.
I mean, yeah, poor Violet has been in Visa purgatory for all this time, but at this point, when Golden Guardians Academy are doing so well, even if Violet is able to get their Visa back, we don't know the full story, right? But Stixay is performing so damn well with the squad. It's like, why fix what's not broken,
Exactly.
right? And I think when we go back to one of Stixay's first interviews at the beginning of the split, and he's talking about, hey, just because I'm a coach doesn't mean I don't, it does not mean I don't want to return to LCS. I want to return to the LCS, and I'm trying to prove why I deserve to be back there. And I mean, the chip on the shoulder is pulling on some massive performances.
And dude,
so far.
Kingus, like as a CLG fan, I have to imagine you were asking, is like, where was this Stixay for years? He's been looking.
Poster. I have
He's
a
been looking
signed
the best he
poster
ever
somewhere
has.
In this room. He is
I've
looking
never
the
seen
best.
Stixay like play this aggressively and play with this much confidence ever.
scary
And it's
for
incredible to
TSM.
see.
It is scary for TSM Academy right now, who, again, the big narrative behind this team as we take a look at their roster, you'll notice a different nameplate in a specific lane here, kind of the lane that the team might have been named after. Kaidua is actually in for TakeOver based on TSM announcing yesterday. He played game 2 yesterday as well in the Academy game, so now he will be starting here.
We also have Yurson back down there in the bottom lane at support. So it is kind of a return to what we were seeing previously. TakeOver as well. Congratulations to him on moving up to LCS, at least
Round
for
of
the time
applause.
being.
Round of applause for TakeOver. This is big news for him.
So it's
Wishing him
a
the best.
great time coming in for TSM, but it is going to be very interesting because Kaidua has not had a whole lot of time to play with the rest of the members of TSM. This is going to be a very exciting time. We've seen Golden Guardians. This is actually the third time that they've gone up against a team bringing in members at different times, right? It was Cloud9, Team Liquid, and now they're doing it against TSM. So this might be, you know, I don't want to be too far ahead of myself, but this might be just another gift to the Golden Guardian standings.
It is kind of funny how often Golden Guardians find themselves against this, but as we're taking a look at Kaidoa's actual performance on the LCS stage, I was impressed with some of his individual laning mechanics. Yesterday in the match that they played, didn't actually have the best performance. If we're taking an honest look at what he was piloting on that RE pick, wasn't able to find the engages that they needed, and the team overall just wasn't making the early game plays that we wanted. But we did actually have a chance to hear from Kaidua on one of his streams where he talked a little bit about his own performance and his own thoughts.
Close game, but it's okay. Oh, my first game today. Keep playing. I keep playing. It's okay. This game is how to speak. Oh, wonderful game. Yeah, wonderful game. Enjoy. I don't care lose or win, you know. Actually, I don't care lose or win. I just wanna enjoy wonderful game. This game is wonderful game. Yeah, we play well. Everyone play well, I think. It's okay. That's enough, I think.
Rafa, when I hear Kaidua talking on his stream, it just makes me think that the two of you would get along. He's so wholesome, man. He's so positive.
That's what I'm saying, man. And his name, I think Joshi brought this up to light during the before we went on live. Kaidua means super cute, very cute. I think that's
what
correct.
Kelsey told me.
And I think that fits his brand too, right? Because he's in. Whether he's playing on stage or whether he's playing on stream, he has a really positive attitude, and he is always looking to improve and strive to better himself as an individual, right? And I think while, you know, going from LCS to Academy might not always be the most pleasant things and events to occur for a player, it's an opportunity for Kaidua to say, you know what, I don't have to deal with the stakes and the pressure of playing on the LCS stage. I can, you know, play against in the academy level, and this hopefully allows Kaidua to kind of relax and breathe and just play the game.
Gives him an opportunity to get some practice reps, and he will be going up against Ryoma opposite of the Rift, and Ryoma's been having a split, guys. I mean, he is actually popping off as of late. He's one of the main reasons why Golden Guardians Academy have been finding so much success, and the mid laner Ryoma is showing up right now, Joshi.
Yeah, I got a couple of clips from him here, and the biggest thing is that he has some of the highest number of solo kills just across the entire tournament, right? He's the kind of guy who will go in and just find opportunities to try and outplay you, and that's not something that a lot of mid laners are currently doing in Academy. We constantly ask the question, how are you going to stand out? And Ryoma's doing it by just killing everybody all on his own. He doesn't need the rest of his team.
Whether it's on picks like the Ahri, picks like the Vex, Ryoma's just kind of popping off here. And when we look at the narrative of this player throughout the past year, Rafa, this is somebody who got a decent amount of flack last year based on performances, but then still came back and, had an incredible end of the summer split. So it's cool to see Ryoma showing up. And it's going to be a tough opponent for Kaidoa to actually face off against because of Ryoma's current lane dominance. But we don't want to dive too much into that because we're getting ready for pick and ban here shortly. So Rafa, instead, I want you to talk to me about TSM's miracle run and what they need to do. As we pull up the standings, we'll see how far they are behind that 6th place spot, which means that they would auto-qualify for Proving Grounds. Bottom 4 Academy teams will have to play through the qualifiers. What does TSM need to do to make that push for top 6?
You got to win every single game.
Yep.
Like from here on out, that it's as simple as that. But the thing is that for TSM Academy, there's clearly more problems than you can just fix within the amount of time that we have through week 7 and week 8. And I think what TSM Academy should be looking to do is, rather than focusing on getting wins so they can make the playoff berth, is they should use that opportunity going into the Proving Grounds qualifiers, because at this rate, it is very unlikely that TSM will be able to break out of that. So they should be taking these games to say, okay, you know what? We're getting in more practice time. We're getting in more scrim games, or not necessarily scrim games, just more stage games overall. To just practice. Exactly. You have to get more experience with this roster. And I think you should look at the Proving Grounds qualifiers not as a punishment for not being able to make it in the top 6, but as an opportunity to get more reps.
And with that framing, let's take a look at what TSM Academy bring to Golden Guardians Academy and how good Golden Guardians Academy, the #1 team, continue to look rounding out week 7, because Pick and Ban is ready. So, Rafa, Joshi, take it away.
Vikings.
Yesterday I was taking things away from Azal, but I haven't framed it quite yet with Kangas, so we'll get that nailed down, because I want Kangas to literally hand me the toss the next time, but he didn't, so I didn't feel as invited. But for TSM and Golden Guardians Academy here, Josh, I'm going back to the whole idea of TSM. They shouldn't be worried about trying to win games and playing not to lose. Just get more development in, get more experience in, right? Just keep practicing what they're running in scrims, and this will benefit TSM for the long haul rather than for the short-term benefits.
Yeah, and I want to push back a little bit on the idea that they shouldn't be trying to get into Proving Grounds. They should just be using this for development, because obviously that's what practice time is for. By the time you get to the stage, you want to be playing to win, and I think it's probably doable. Outside of this one, they are not playing any other of the top teams coming up for the rest of the season. In their next couple of series, they're playing Golden Guardians, but then they get Dignitas, Evil Geniuses, and Team Liquid, all of whom are part of the Blob, all of whom are also fighting for that 6th place spot. So if TSM is able to win a lot of these games against teams that they are definitely within reach of, I think that they can still make it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They definitely put themselves in a big hole, but it's not out of reach just quite yet. So I want to see how TSM evolve now that they have brought Kaidoa back into the field, and see if they can bring down this LCS player to start beating up on the coach of Golden Guardians.
Two different schools of thought, but I think that's a conversation for another time. As we are into the pick and ban phase. Yeah. Damn. Maybe. You can't hear that? Another debate sequence and segment for you. TSM looking for their 3rd ban against Golden Guardians Academy. So far, it's mainly marksman bans, but still the Jinx and the Phelios are still available. Now, TSM could opt into not going for another marksman ban and take away something else like the Thresh.
Okay, well, it looks like TSM are trying to offer the traditional Jinx for Aphelios kind of payoff that we often go for. I've been very surprised that it's been the way that teams have been going, is I don't feel like Aphelios is of the same caliber of a character as Jinx is in a lot of ways, but this is something that a lot of teams are very used to at this point. Very standard bans coming across the table. The only one that's a little bit surprising to me so far is actually the Tom Kent, right? He's really been rising to the forefront as a support, and Kelsey and I had a long discussion about whether or not this guy is primary engaged, but the point is, he does fulfill that role on a lot of teams. He's going to be able to get the fight started. It is, and TSM, as we said, just going back to our original style, and it is going to be Kaidoa going back to the Ahri like he played yesterday.
Now, Kaidoa, as Kangas noted, didn't necessarily have the best performance on the Ahri yesterday, but if you watch this guy's streams, you'll see that this guy can pull out some very, very clutch Ahri games. Yesterday, not the best of showings. This time could be a different, but it's going to be a very tough matchup for him because Ryoma definitely no slouch. Yes, the Rise has been taken away, but as Ryoma has demonstrated so far this Academy split, there's so many champions he can pull out of his pool.
And that's the good thing about this mid lane meta. It feels really open. There's a lot of champions that are viable basically at all levels, and it basically comes down to individual play. I remember doing some stats for Coffee and saying that there was like 8 characters that he had played. And Viger going to be coming through for Ryoma. Absolutely adore this character right now. He's got such insane zone control with the Event Horizon, and his ability to just constantly build up AP and not actually build a whole lot of AP in his items just means that he's a huge threat, because he's not only going to be killing you, you're also not going to be able to kill him.
Damn, and with the Volibear pickup, it is something that Hyper can find some early game plays or set up some potentially threatening dives at the level 6 mark with the Stormbreaker. But so far, this Vygar pick feels so damn
Oppressive.
Oh, what's the word, Josh? Yeah, oppressive. Yeah, I was just gonna say opposing, but it was not quite right.
Also true.
Oppressive.
Also true.
Yeah. TSM, I mean, how do you get through the Event Horizon as any of these characters
I mean,
here?
that's going to be the big question for them this game, right? The only thing that would have made this scarier, I think, is if it was, instead of a Jinx, it was a Zeri. But, you know, that was already banned away. So Golden Guardians, they now have some really strong zone control. They have the initial burst that we always like seeing with a Jinx in order to get that first reset and start popping off. Now they just need to make sure that they're not going to get outranged. They don't have to worry too much about pick, because that's going to be where I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to. Kaidwa, we talked about him a fair amount. He's going to have a lot of weight on his shoulders trying to find some of these flanks in order to get to Ryoma and Stixxay, because it's very difficult to go straight in, and Volibear's not going to do it.
Even though Stormbreaker is unstoppable, you'll still get stunned on the way in if you pass through the Event Horizon after you make your crash landing, right? Golden Guardians, noting that Viper has some powerful top laners in his arsenal, taking away some powerful counter picks. That would be a very early blind pick and a very bold one at that. But I imagine that this should be a support lock-in for TSM, since they would rather save the counter pick for Viper.
And remember, Viper has also been this guy who has brought out the Karma top lane. It's not the most ridiculous thing in the world to imagine something similar coming through. But Yursan, I feel like this is something that Yursan and Shen Yi have shared quite a bit, is just this Nautilus pick, right? The fact that they are willing to be so aggressive with it and just go for plays that a lot of other supports in the Academy League have not been doing. Yursan again back in Academy, we'll see if he can recreate some of the success that Shen Yi had. But Golden Guardians, they already have a lot of disengage. It's very difficult for Kaidwa and Instinct to really come in and hit a lot of backline members, and as long as Golden Guardians continue to create this strong front line, it's going to be really difficult for TSM to get anything done.
Surprising that we didn't even get a chance to recognize that the Gwen had been left untouched in the entire pick and ban phase, and we're still on the same patch where Gwen did not receive the nerfs, if I'm correct there, Josh. So it seems like a major pickup. This is one of Tony Top's by far best blind pick champions available. The fact that this has been seemingly gifted away by TSM speaks to me that Viper has something specifically for the matchup.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Jace was the traditional counter pick for this Gwen, and we have been seeing that Eclipse even beat Dokla with it yesterday. So it is a very strong pick.
It's the Riven.
Oh boy. I love watching Viper's Riven, man. I really hope this gets locked in. His ability to play this champion and be relevant no matter what is just a testament to how much work he's put into this character. It doesn't matter if you are down. It doesn't matter if you have been beaten up over and over again. Viper is always going to be finding this flank angles. And so now it's not just Kaidwa that we're going to have to be paying attention to as to who can actually get to Ryoma and Stixxay. Viper's going to be right on in there.
The last time that we saw Viper's Riven, it was the same counterpick situation against Dignitas' Quantipe Academy when Eclipse had the Gwen blind picked for him. Now, to be fair, there's a couple of misplays from Viper in the solo lane where Eclipse got the solo kills on Viper early on, but to reflect what you are mentioning, Josh, is that it doesn't matter how far down Viper is on the Riven or if he has a bad early laning phase, he still finds ways to be impactful and warp the game in those skirmishes and in the mid-game fights on this Riven whenever he looks for the flanks around objectives. And had TSM not lost the Elder Flip, that was definitely a TSM game that they could have won against Dignitas.
For sure. You know that Viper is going to be coming in with a bit of a chip on his shoulder because this...
if we could only show you what we see on our screen, chat. If we could only show you. Lecce, please. That has to go in the time. You know what? Here's another content idea. I know we're breaking away from our match right now, but this is important. We have to address it. Both Lecce and Mermage are 2 observers for the primary stream and the secondary stream, have been creating some based pixel art in Paint. And I just want us to have like a little photo gallery by the end of the split.
Mark, you know why I started just laughing more than anything? Like, the picture was good, but it's also like, it looks like you. It's a bear with a blue shirt on. He's got the gold chain.
Bear with a chain, man. Oh my god.
It's a portrait of Rafa. But we're back into the game. We're gonna focus right back on. Yeah, it's got a lot of drip. So we'll see if we can get our observers to post that one to Twitter. Make sure you follow @LecheLauren and I think it's just Mermage, but it might be XMermage on Twitter. See all the cool stuff that they have been doing. But we got Viper on the Riven, everybody.
And Lecce.
Yeah, LecheLauren. So.
Because remember, we're on the primary stream, so this is Lauren observing and making the art.
I said both their tags already.
Oh, okay. I thought that you only said Mermage.
Turtle. All right, TSM.
We're on to the Rift. Game 1. Here we go. Time to focus up, Josh, because for Golden Guardians Academy, they're already at the top of the standings, and for them, looking at a team like TSM Academy, they should think that it should be another walk in the park.
Money.
But if you saw CLG Academy get swept by Dignitas QuantumPay Academy, another team that was...
Okay.
You know what?
All right, Chime, I see you. I'm watching.
Yeah. Instinct not feeling very pleasant from the warm welcome that Chime just gave in the bottom lane.
As a support, you should be willing to make that trade every single time, right? Because the AD carries do not have another escape. There's not a whole lot that they can really do, and so it paints a huge target. So I'm honestly kind of expecting Iconic to be shifting his pathing a little bit to make sure that he can come down and punch the fact that Instinct will not have Flash. And that's going to be something that is going to be really important for the members of Golden Guardians is, you know, we paint up TSM. They're trying to get this miracle run coming through, but this is one of the toughest opponents. Golden Guardians now are going to be trying to flip that on its head and say, yeah, you know, we are the #1 team for a reason. You all should be fearing us, and if they can not only start winning the game early on, but close it cleanly, that's kind of the test I'm looking at for the Golden Guardians side of this matchup.
Now, one thing that's really cool about the Viper or the Riven Gwen matchup is that whenever you see Rivens posturing aggressively in the bush, they have the ability to get a lot of trade damage and trade value. But Tony Top, recognizing that Viper would be waiting the bush, preemptively wards the bush, seeing him out so that Viper doesn't get the first jump. And Tony Top now having a little bit of lane control with the extra harass he was able to get into trade.
Yeah. We'll see how effectively he is able to do that. There is a lot of sustain coming through for Viper with the 3 potions, but the level 1 coming out from Gwen is really, really oppressive. And we do see that Golden Guardians, they have Iconic going from the tops of the map, going towards the bottom. In theory, unseen, but in practice, actually just warded up. It's not clear whether or not Golden Guardians recognize that Iconic knew that he was on a ward, but it does mean that Hyper is going to be able to match him and walk down towards the bottom side of the map. So both junglers potentially looking to play around the fact that this Flash is already down from Instinct, and that just means that we might be ready for some fireworks early on.
3v3 potential, maybe?
Thoughts? I'm down.
Oh, I'm down for some scrapping. All of our games yesterday were pretty tame for the most part.
Yeah.
We had maybe like an early first blood, and then afterwards, everyone was just handshaking the most of the game. So I need more chaos.
Yeah.
I need more destruction.
Kumbaya.
More fight.
And so we'll see what happens. Chime is going to be going through, warding out Hyper. They know exactly where he is. Makes it a little bit more difficult for the Bear to go for any of these early plays. But ooh, Iconic barely slipping by some of the wards there, so skipping out on a couple of camps. A lot of the high-income camps he's actually skipping in order to try and make this play happen. It's the kind of play that XU was doing early in the season, Mark.
Okay, well, can Iconic capitalize on the lack of information? However, Kaidoa says, oh god, there's an Zinzao here in the river. Watch out, guys. And Kaidoa is going to resume his duties back in the mid lane. Hyper making a beeline towards the top side of the map. Currently, Viper has pushed out the top lane, so he has prio, but looking for this recall. Might be somewhat difficult for Hyper to contest, but because Iconic is already ceding control, it's just going to be exchanged. Man, where's the fighting? Where's the scrapping, Josh?
It's okay. It'll happen. It'll happen at some point, but this is one of those things that you always have to look at. It is one thing to get somebody's flash, it's another thing entirely to actually punish it, right? Instinct, you know, maybe we can attribute the losing 1 or 2 CS to having no flash and needing to be a little bit more careful about where Chime is, but it's a very difficult thing for Iconic to try and make a play on this early on, and that's part of why I think we're seeing this early defensive play kind of coming through from these members. And as soon as I say that he starts walking over, he's going to spot it out on the ward. I don't think anything's likely to happen.
Iconic is seen here, so Instinct and Yerson knowingly will be playing back. Iconic will unfortunately be spending a lot of time here unknowing whether he has been spotted or not, since Instinct and Yerson haven't really drastically changed the way they've been positioning. Meanwhile, Hyper has an opportunity now to make this gank in the top side work. Tony Top has no flash, it's just Ignite, relying on the wild skip and slash. Viper has been ignited, but somehow in the bot lane, we'll have to get a replay later on that one. Hyper and Viper trying to fight out Tony Top in this 2v1. They should be able to get it. Viper flashing forward, gets the stun down on the Tony Top. It's a little difficult right now, but they're trying to manage it well. But this is a huge stack minion wave, and the minions do a lot of damage, and Viper has to wait on cooldowns before he can re-engage on the Tony Top. And don't tell me Tony Top gets out of this one alive. No way. TSM. They lose on both sides of the map.
Viper Hyper synergy just not there. They don't go at the same time, and Tony Top is just able to walk away from that. We do get a replay of the bottom side. I can't believe this worked, Mark. They knew he was there. He was on vision this entire time. And Instinct still walks forward. So play coming through from TSM ends up biting them in the butt. Going to be a really rough spot for TSM, because I mean it doesn't get more telegraphed than that.
Well, Yerson might try to answer back into the mid lane, but the knockup from Chime and Ryoma, the damage follow-up, takes out Kaido.
That's another play coming through from Chime. He gets the engagement in the bottom side of the map. He comes to the mid, brings another opportunity to take down the mid lane. So Chime really starting to level up for the members of Golden Guardians, start already putting both Stixxay and Ryoma in a spot where they can be really strong. And we saw yesterday, Mark, Stixxay started the game off with 4 kills, and it's going to be not quite as bad, but it's going to be really, really tough for the members of TSM to try and overcome how strong this guy has been. He's actually been one of the people that I didn't mention from my MVP shortlist, but now that I think about it a little bit more, maybe he deserves that spot.
Stixxay would definitely like to be considered up in the top ranks. That TSM have to find a way to fight back, though, because when you look at the scaling on their side compared to Golden Guardians, no matter who you're looking at, lane by lane, you just look at the mid lane and you see Vigar. And that is infinite scaling right there. And that alone makes me so terrified for the state that TSM are in right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough. We already talked about some of the difficulties that people are going to have getting through the event horizon. Yerson gets stopped by it really effectively. Kaido gets stopped by it really effectively. Hyper also struggled to get through this ability, but now they're trying to make plays earlier where there is no event horizon. Hyper is going to be on a control ward, and there they go.
But no flash from away from Hyper. Beautiful chompers from Stixxay. Zones Hyper off. Chime flashing forward, looking for the knockup. Iconic looks for the zone. Nice sidestep from Hyper. Dodges out on what could have been disastrous for TSM, but Golden Guardians keeping TSM at bay.
Golden Guardians, it just feels like they're winning everywhere on the map right now, right? You got the kill in the mid lane, you got the kill in the jungle. Now Ryoma's coming down, potentially looking for a dive, and Hyper doesn't have the HP to do anything.
And Kaido can't answer, doesn't have Spirit Rush, no summoners available to answer back, but a nice hook from Yerson pulls in Chime, almost takes him out, but Instinct has to be the one that puts out the damage. Hyper is super low on HP, trying to run back and forward, and another sidestep is great, but now Chime just flashes forward! That's Ryoma, I should say, on the Vigar, double kill, easy as pie for Golden Guardians.
12 stacks in 1 queue coming out for Ryoma. He hits 2 champions, he gets the 2 takedowns. That is 12 AP off of 1 Q. That is value, my dude. Ryoma looking so strong. We'll get a replay of this real quick, but I mean, we said Hyper's going to struggle to be a part of this. And look at the zone control that the Event Horizon puts out. Both Instinct and Hyper not really able to walk forward to actually finalize the kill onto Chime. And then it just comes down to the fact that Ryoma, I mean, again, so much confidence, goes forward, gets both of them, and you know he's laughing too. This is a dominant performance coming out from Golden Guardians.
5-0, 4,000 gold before 10 minutes into the game. And when we take a look back at some of the champions that Golden Guardians have locked themselves into with this draft, Stixxay has made a huge name for himself on the Jinx, has yet Yes, he's performed well on other champions, but when you consider the quadra kill that he opened up with yesterday against Cloud9 and the rest of the Academy split, and then even Tony Top's blind Gwen performance across the board. Dude, like, what are they supposed to do as TSM when Golden Guardians are this far ahead?
I mean, it's really tough, right? Because even though Yurson, as Nautilus, will always have these engage tools, he is currently half the level of Ryoma, right? You know, that's not impressive when it's level 1 versus level 2, but it is impressive when it's level 4 versus level 8, right? I don't know how much you come across this, Mark, but, you know, in the top lane, sometimes a lot of jungler will come towards top as, like, 2 levels down from the, you know, from my opposing top laner, and then just runs in and dies. That's a 2-level difference. This is a 4-level difference. Your son is just missing so much HP, and the only thing Chime is waiting on is nothing. He's just going.
Oh man, and he's level 4 against a level 7 Stay. Super Mega Death Rocket barely goes wide. Would have surely been your son's life that would have been taken down. But Golden Guardians, once again, the amount of pressure that they are inflicting across the entire map. Oppressive was the word that we said in the draft, but that's not even enough to justify how much TSM have to go up against.
So now Golden Guardians, we have the challenge for them, right? Oh, Yurson first.
Okay, flash forward from Yurson. They want to go for the aggressive play, but Yurson is still squishy. He's still on level 5, and Aftershock was not available as it was on cooldown. Hyper's going forward. TSM, you gotta go it. Baylife, baby. You have to make something out of nothing here, but Golden Guardians, they prevent TSM from getting any advantage in this mid game.
Wow, yeah, as you said, you gotta F it Baylife, man. They are in a pretty tough position right now. You gotta try and find something, and this is where teams start looking really desperate, right? Yurson going forward, just getting a hook on to Chime, but it's not enough. They don't have any gold. Hyper tries to continue it after people have already died, but they're just slightly desynced. Look at how far back Kaidwa is when they actually go for this play, and it just means that Hyper is just going to die. There's nobody out there who's going to be able to put out enough damage to make this engage worthwhile. So, as we are over 5,000 gold at the 11-minute mark, we are in a spot where I am now presenting a challenge to Golden Guardians. Right, you are so far ahead at this point. My goal for Golden Guardians is, you know, a perfect game in terms of kills is a nice way to get there, but it's kind of not something you can easily play for. But I think they are strong enough that they can play for a complete shutout and deny every single objective and hopefully end the game by about the 22-minute mark. I think that's the way that Golden Guardians should be playing. It's no longer an exercise of if they win, it's an exercise of how cleanly they can get there.
Exactly. Especially when you are Golden Guardians at the top of the standings, play against TSM, who is at the bottom of the standings. We already had expectations that this should be a favored matchup for Golden Guardians, but now that they've opened up the early game this dominantly, it's now about how well you can close it out. Now, TSM want to prevent that shutout. They want to find any advantages that they can get back. Golden Guardians have vision of this Dragon Pit, but Iconic is nowhere near, and it looks like that shutout dream is not going to be had for Golden Guardians.
Ooh, it was close. Stixay almost got it, but it's just a position where Golden Guardians not expecting TSM to go for this early play, but that's the kind of thing you have to be looking at. TSM are desperate. They're going to be willing to go for almost anything that they think will slow down the game a little bit. And so Golden Guardians, you know, that's strike one, but it's okay. They just have to figure out what they can do from this position. They can't just be letting TSM make mistakes the entire time. Golden Guardians still looking to press the advantage, and they might just find your son.
I will give credit to TSM, despite the amount of deficit that they are experiencing right now. TSM are not passively letting the game slip away. They have made attempts. They've tried. Unfortunately for them, Golden Guardians have beaten them in every single encounter. But picking something up like a dragon is something noteworthy for this team, because this is just a very lopsided matchup so far.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be 5 plates going down in the bottom lane. There's only 2 plates left in the mid lane. That could be a full 10 plates getting picked up by Golden Guardians if they do choose to drop the Riftchild in the mid lane here very shortly. And that's something that just doesn't happen these days, right? It was something that was very common when plates were relatively new, but we haven't been seeing nearly as much of it. And Stixay as well, letting everything die. They are crossing their T's, dotting their I's. It's very, very difficult for TSM to find anything. It's 40 CS already in the bottom lane. The only place where they haven't blown open the game is top lane. And Tony Top, I mean, to his credit, he basically won a 1v2 earlier, so there's not a whole lot more you can necessarily be asking of him at this point.
Turrets have been taken out in the mid lane and the bottom lane, Josh. The top one is the next that will be likely to fall in favor of Golden Guardians. You already see members are rotating on up towards the top side of the map. 6A booking it to say, yo, what's up, Tony Top?
Yo.
I hear you want to take down this turret.
You want to be Tony
got
Bot
you.
for a little while? Let's go down the other side of the map. Hang out over there.
God damn it.
Well, that's what happens in the game. Tony trying to be a little bit aggressive. Also, I think this might be the last patch that we're going to be seeing Gwen for a little while, just based on the fact that she loses a lot of attack range on 12.5, but Golden Guardians, we'll have to see what Tony Top wants to play, and oh, they're going aggressive. Remember, you can't count Viper out.
Teleport is coming in, though, from Kaidoa. They have the back up from Viper. 6A can't get the last auto attack. Meanwhile, there is a huge Kerplump in this bush, and Viper's able to answer back on Tony Top. That's the first kill of the game for TSM. They're able to fight back, but now 6A has the rockets. He's got the lethal temple stacked up. Kaidoa has nowhere to run, dashing and dipping back and forth, trying to dodge out on the damage, but you cannot dodge out on Destiny, and it's Golden Guardians looking to take theirs in their own right. Instinct, oh my goodness, because he almost win this. Ryoma's Primordial Burst does not completely eviscerate Instinct, and he survives.
Survives, but that's a small reward at this point. Good play from Instinct to say, hey, the only way out from this is forward. Almost takes down Ryoma on the backside, and Ryoma looking very strong already. That's another turret going down, and we already get objective bounties immediately coming through. 3 turrets going down, 10,000 gold lead, 15 minutes in. Golden Guardians are looking phenomenal so far in this game. So, Mark, we are going to be jumping into a replay real quick, but the miracle run from TSM, as we kind of take a look at Golden Guardians hitting them with their wallet a fair amount, are in a position where they have to find, they found 1 win already this week, and that puts them in spitting range, right? They are still going to be in a position where they can play, but this is also where we start looking at these teams and asking, how is the mental fortitude, right? It's very difficult to win this game. You have to be assuming that Golden Guardians is going to be making some massive mistakes. How do you recover from this for game 2?
Well, first, Kaidoa needs to figure out how to get out of this sticky
I don't know if he does. Nyom.
Event Horizon comes down. Good night, Kaidoa.
Oh my god, Ryoma, that's so... He's waiting to get another Q off for an extra bit of... For an extra bit of AP. He's trying to get the last hit with it. But, I mean, that's just how far gone this game really is, right? There's not a whole lot of points of strength. Kaidoa just trying to desperately find farm somewhere on the map. The one person, you know, that I'm kind of looking at to maybe be the savior of TSM is if Viper can just pop off, maybe there's a way back in, but he's going to have to be looking for exciting flanks. He can't really just go in head first. So if we start seeing Viper coming off on unusual angles, we'll start looking at that a little bit more. But, you know, as long as he's going head first into Ryoma.
Hey, you were talking about it.
He just goes right
Ryoma.
in.
No.
What?
Okay, Viper watches the Event Horizon come down, flashes over it, and says good night to Ryoma.
All right, let's go, Viper. He's getting both of the kills right now for TSM. He just goes right in. He's like, haha, this Event Horizon, he says it's going to be a zone control tool. What if I just flash over that and kill you right away? So that's a good play coming up from Viper. 1,000 gold going to his pockets right away. But here we go. Styx has got a lot more than that.
You know, Viper feeling pretty damn good about the solo kill, but then reality strikes when you realize you're still down 10,000 gold, and there's very fed members from the rest of Golden Guardians that can still clean you up now that you do not have ultimate or flash. But you know what? I respect it. I respect it from TSM.
Yeah.
Because at this point, we've already talked about this, Josh. We've already kind of preluded to it. Golden Guardians, very commanding position. This should be a game they close out. And now, unfortunately for them, we're away from the shutout dream. It's not a perfect game, but Golden Guardians should still be taking this as an exercise to still clean up their execution on how they close out the game.
I mean, to TSM's credit, TSM has done a fantastic job at forcing some of these objectives and getting opportunities to get aggressive plays and take these objectives.
Right.
So that's pretty exciting if you're a TSM fan, that they are still doing this even while this far behind. So Golden Guardians, I'm a little bit surprised that they're not playing a bit more proactively for this, because that's one of the fastest ways to end a game, is just take every single objective. If your opponents come to contest you, well, then you kill them because you are 10,000 gold ahead, and it is very difficult for them to even mount any kind of defense. So Golden Guardians, I'm a little bit surprised that they're doing this, but I'm also not. I don't think it's bad strategy, because you still have Jinx and Vigar and Gwen that are just going to get stronger and stronger as the game continues to go on. So they're not in a hurry to actually win.
And that's the thing about this composition for Golden Guardians.
Okay, play.
They're not in a rush, right? However, TSM, they're bringing a lot of friends for Vipers so that Tony Top cannot just easily take him on in the 1v1. And note here, Viper's actually one level above Tony Top just because Golden Guardians have been, for the most part, grouping a lot more, whereas TSM members have been trying to pick up as much solo experience as possible.
Yep.
And TSM losing out on a lot of structures on the outside of the map, though.
Yeah. Also remember that solo kills give a lot of experience these days. That wasn't always the case, but Hyper coming in for a dive, but Iconic's already here.
Stormbreaker, they prevent the turret from being firing tiring shots, and Viper, oh man, dude. This is so brutal. I respect that TSM are trying to fight back, but man.
All right, Chime, you don't win this 1v1. Just heads up, but you might be able to stall him.
Well, I don't know if he loses it either, because Hyper doesn't want to fight it. What is that emote?
I didn't see it. What was it? Wait, what emote was it?
Was it Swain?
I don't know. I didn't see. I legitimately just didn't see it at all.
Oh, you didn't see it? Damn. It looked like Swain, but he just had like this wide-eyed look.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you know me. I literally have no emotes bound to my wheel. And we are getting confirmation from production that it was a Swain emote, but I have no emotes bound to my wheel, so it's just like they just like I see
you
them.
You don't have emote game, John?
I don't. I mean, I have
That's a
all
shame.
chat
I feel like that would be up
disabled.
your brand.
I have any form of communication outside of talking to my team is pretty much muted in every game of League of Legends that I play that's not with friends. Right?
Understand.
Because it's it's the kind of thing where it's just like I'm not interested in your Eternals, right? Great, you get 6,000 Qs on this champion. That just means you played this champion a lot. Congratulations. So it's definitely a thing where I pay a lot less attention to it. And so like all these emotes just kind of phase over me. But Golden Guardians, they don't just want to let TSM phase over them. This would be a lot of money going through, and Viper knows he's there.
Wow, Viper just having the sixth sense. Golden Guardians might lose out on Tony Top on the bottom side. Nah, I take that back. Tony Top is still winning this one. Oh, but Kaidoa saves it.
Take back.
All right, TSM able to get the honorary turret takedown, and the power of friendship between TSM allows them to actually push and threaten into the base. Hold up, wait a second. They're about to take an inhibitor turret while down 10,000 gold against Golden Guardians.
That's so much money that TSM have picked up for themselves. They might lose Hyper, but...
Okay, well, Hyper, Stormbreaker, not going to be enough. He's going to go down. The Sacrificial Lamb to allow the rest of TSM. Hyper will go down so the rest of TSM could walk to safety.
But
they should be able to walk to safety, right?
Can we talk about the fact that they got an inhibitor turret while down 10,000 gold? Even though this game is pretty gone, right? It's pretty doomed. They have now put themselves in a position where it's possible to win the game, right? If they ever get a miracle team fight where they full ace the enemy team, there's not a whole lot of structures left between them and actually winning. So Golden Guardians, and they should still win it. Urson should still go down here, but I love the fact that TSM are proactive.
And Viper still going for it, looking for STIXA onto the back line. Both, holy crap! Viper and Instinct working hand in hand to take out STIXA. A huge shutdown goes over to Viper. They take out. What is happening?
Dude, Viper is so good. Why doesn't he play this champion more? He just runs down multiple members. He's going for all these plays, and he's trying to put the game on his back. He's done so much work for this team. Unfortunately, they're just behind, right? There is such a disaster early on that it feels like all of Viper's efforts might end up going for naught. But where's this version of Viper been the entire season?
This is the exact same way that TSM's game against Dignitas Quantum Pay Academy played out. They were down very far in the early game, but then they get to the mid game and their champions that they've locked in just come online, and by playing with the utmost confidence and the utmost audacity to just continue going forward and saying, yeah, we're down 10,000 gold, we don't care, we're still going to try our best to win. That is so admirable.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is still a 10,000 gold lead, but the impressive thing is the gold lead hasn't grown, right? It's actually shrunk a little bit, and Instinct now going to be likely to pick up another objective bounty for TSM. They're trading across the map because they know they can't actually defend anything on even terms, and even Kaidwa doesn't have any wave queue here. So it's going to be another inhibitor falling to the members of Golden Guardians, but they're getting something back at the same time. So watch Viper. He's gone for a couple of these crazy plays. He just doesn't have any flash right now to go for an engage.
Golden Guardians just want to end the game. They do not want to give TSM another chance to get back into this game. They look down onto Viper. No clutch playmaking will be had from the TSM Academy top laner. And the rest of Golden Guardians, they might have been spooked. They might have been impressed by TSM's ability to stay in this game despite being down so far in gold. But in the end, it is still Golden Guardians. Well, that will clean house and finish game 1.
Yeah, it's very rare that I would want to give like an MVP vote to a player on the losing team, but man, I'm so impressed by Viper this game, right? Even as everything goes wrong, it feels like Golden Guardians slowly choked them out, and they played the map pretty darn brilliantly. Every single time that TSM were overextended to get one of these objectives, Golden Guardians would get one back. But the thing that was giving us hope for TSM the entire time was Viper just kind of like, oh yeah, I see your Fed, I don't care. I am Viper and I'm playing Riven. I'm going to kill you anyway.
It's something that TSM can take away that is a positive, right? Yeah. But for Golden Guardians, this is another day in the office. This is another demonstration of just how dominant they are as a team. And I know that a lot of the times when we look at teams, we try to look at standout players and we try to highlight individuals. Golden Guardians is one of the few teams where every individual does such a damn good job on their own that it's hard to highlight one over the other, right? Everyone is pulling their own weight. Everyone is winning their lane for the most part and creating so much pressure uniformly that Golden Guardians is a force to be reckoned
with. I do have
with.
one standout that I do want to talk a little bit about. Chime. His ability to play this recon, he got the early flash off of Instinct. He started the snowball by getting the kills bottom lane. He goes mid lane. He finds another kill there. So now he's snowballing multiple places at the same time. I feel like he had a really big impact on their ability to get this ball rolling. And from there, everybody's like, okay, I know what to do from here. And Golden Guardians were able to snowball it pretty cleanly after that. But it all started with Chime finding some of these early engages.
Well, for us, we already saw the destruction that Golden Guardians laid down with some, small, impressive signs of life from TSM, but it's still a Golden Guardians victory. When we come back, it'll be Kangas on deck with our halftime show.
よ。大津って何？見てるよ。だ。アカデミーを見ることとアニメを見ることと同じだろうよ。ラジオ、ヘンリー選手のけいのはお前はもう死んでい続け。ダイヤモンド選手は罠を仕掛ける。それから勝った。計画通り。そうだすれば。レッド選手のあれはねえねえダイヤモンド選手もアトミックサムライアンパンマンでアトミックザかっこいい
There it is! Moonfall and the last breath finds Spawn! Golden Guardians and the flash from Ryoma!
納得させた俺はよし行くぞ